partnership with the International Skating Union. In just a few moments, we will start the ice dance free dance.
Bonjour et bienvenue au Tango Sports Center à Vancouver, Canada, hôte des Internationaux de Patinage Canada 2023. Le comité d'organisation de Patinage Canada est honoré de présenter cet événement en partenariat avec l'Union internationale de patinage. Dans quelques instants, nous commencerons la danse.
We would like to remind you that flash photography, as well as video recording and filming, is forbidden. Gifts and flowers offered to the skaters at the end of the performance must be completely wrapped. We thank you very much for your cooperation.
Les juges. From the Ukraine, Irina Medvedev. From Great Britain, Christopher Buchanan. From Israel, Anna Campbell.
Welcome to Vancouver in British Columbia for the second stop of the International Skating Union's Grand Prix Series. I'm Mark Henretti and looking forward to sharing the ice dance event with you coming up. We've seen now the conclusion of the women's competition with the world champion Kaori Sakamoto comfortably taking gold in the Doug Mitchell Thunderbird Sports Centre. As we see shots of this beautiful city named in 1885, the centre having a population of 2.6 million, the highest population density in Canada. Bustling seaport within British Columbia, surrounded by mountains, vying to be one of the greenest cities in the world. As we see shortly a montage created by Skate Canada with some of the competitors that are competing at this event. There's Star Andrews, who has now included her first stop in the Grand Prix. Madeline Skizis, she was second in the pre-skate, some redemption for the Canadian champion. And there, Kaori Sakamoto, the gold medalist in the women's field. Stellato, Videk and Deschamps. Mimar and McIntosh, the Canadian pairs, who will compete later today. Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson, they're the German champions, taking part in the dance event coming up, and they're the leaders after the rhythm dance. Gillis and Paul Poirier. But it will be the men that conclude the day of competition. That yet to come. But for now, we head inside the venue. This fantastic ice rink, which hosted events in the ice hockey tournament at the Vancouver Winter Olympics in 2010, and also a concert venue for some of the world's greatest pop stars. Recently, Lewis Capaldi performing here to 8,000 delighted fans. And now the rink getting busier as we see the starting order for the free dance with Xiyu Wang and Zhenyu Liu from China opening the first group. Two Canadian teams who I'm sure will be encouraged hugely by the home fans, and it will be Canadians Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier who round out the proceedings. last week. As we look now to the judging panel and the officials, we saw Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, the world champions from America, winning triumphantly at Skate America. They looking strong early in the season compared to last year. And they're the 5 teams, 10 skaters about to take to the ice with Jennifer, the German champion in ice dance, getting some eye contact with the camera people. As they step onto the ice, welcome to this audience. And that starts the 5-minute warm-up for the ice dancers. And you can see the first 4 teams to compete separated by under 4 points. And the first team of Shiyu Wang and Jinyu Liu will be disappointed to find themselves at the bottom of the pack after the rhythm dance. But they made a mistake in the choreographic rhythm sequence, silver samba element in the RD, but they explained that they spent 3 months training all by themselves in China and only accessing their coaching staff at the Ice Academy in Montreal more recently before this event. Now to Molly Lanahan and Dmitry Razgalayev. Just fighting to find the opportunity to fit in their element.
Dimitri's father competed at the world level and is currently part of the couple's coaching team. From Canada, Molly Lanahan and Dmitry Razgalayev.
Working the turns, all the teams desperately hoping that the elements in the step sequence in the 1 foot will be awarded high levels. As we look now to Jennifer Janspan Ransburg and Benjamin Stefan, they were a bit disappointed to have some little mistakes in the rhythm dance, and the ground announcer just referencing the camaraderie that they share with Daria Grum and Mikhail Savitsky, who some of the front runners are in the Junior Grand Prix Series, the German junior champions, who have already secured their spot at the Grand Prix final, the Junior Grand Prix final. As we look now to Alicia Fabry and Paul Ayer. Great to see them back from injury, using the same free dance as last year, their season last year, so hampered by injury, and therefore choosing to repeat the Louis Capaldi music for their free dance this year. Look out for their choreo slide, it's quite brilliant. And Eva Pate and Logan Bai, the first of the teams from the United States of America. The first of 2 teams from Novi and Michigan. They share their coaching staff as their compatriots. And this their 5th season together, so they're getting so confident with one another, comfortable, and they've posted some big scores this year. And the Chinese champions just choosing to catch their breath in the closing moments of the warm-up, conserving energy before an incredibly physically demanding run-through. Molly Lanahan on her second free dance dress of the season. Wasn't as satisfied and happy with her first dress and has tweaked it since for their Lord of the Dance free dance.
Il reste 1 minute à la période d'échauffement.
Sia and Paul separating this final moment of the warm-up, not for the physical preparation as much for the mental preparation as anything. Adrenaline and nerves coursing through the bodies of these athletes. So much time and preparation through the off-season in training, preparing for this event. Skate Canada, such a prestigious competition. So many of the teams really excited and eager to be selected for this competition in front of a knowledgeable Canadian fan base. And for many of the teams, these free dance pieces will have been constructed early in the off-season at the conclusion of last year's World Championships. Months of preparation and now performance ready. Paul Ayer, the last skater to put his guards on.
Veuillez accueillir les premiers concurrents.
Representing China,
Leaving the ice for Shiyu Wang and Xinyu Liu, the first of the teams from the Ice Academy of Montreal. Skating to Forever for now.
Don't say a word, the faint cries can hardly be heard. A storm lies beyond the horizon barely. Don't stop, sleep through the days like children that can't stay awake. Stay here untainted and safe. Say while the melody sung, bright like a wave on the run. Oh, do be sure I can't say anymore. I just know that it won't last.
Great, thank you. high five for Shi Wang and Jinyu Liu from China, opening the free dance competition at the Skate Canada International. And you sense in the reaction between the couple the relief to have skated cleanly here following the disappointment of the rhythm dance where they had that mistake in the choreo rhythm sequence. 4 of the 9 elements up for review by the technical panel, deciding the levels to be awarded to the Chinese team. 12th at the Winter Olympic Games. Just looking like Jinyu Liu gave his absolute all to the performance. Cannot underestimate the physicality of the free dance. The ice dancers having to be so engaged and committed with every fibre of their being to push the skating skills and the component scores, as we see Marie-France Debreu greeting them. And this, the stationary lift. Madison Hubble and Zachary Donahue, I think, responsible for inspiring so many teams to choose that feature this season. And then the difficult exit to comfortably achieve the level 4. The curve lift, he in the difficult position, is just coming in at a level 3. And now to the twizzles. Constantly moving arm movements, the free leg extended. This year, teams don't have to connect between the first and second twizzle, unlike previous seasons. Now that little break in rotation there for Shi Wang, the reason that she achieved just a level 2 on that element. And the dance spin there. Another wobble within that, forcing the grade of execution to drop. And great to see some of the movement features that I've seen from the team before, almost a catalogue of some of their highlight movements that we've seen. I remember this from one of the choreo slide enhanced, taking transitional content that they've used in previous programs and developing it further. Choreo step and choreo slide and choreo assisted jumps, the 3 choreographic elements that the seniors must choose, the opportunity for them to push the grades of execution and the component scores. So based on what we can see, it's not going to break the 100-point barrier. And as they assess the cuddly toys awarded to them, hopefully now, having spent that time alone, training alone in the summer, the scores here won't be too frustrating for this team because they're now reunited, hopefully, with their coaches at the Ice Academy in Montreal.
We can't learn 11.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way is to go up, Marie-France Debreu says, and she appears to just have such a wonderful connection with all of the ice dance teams. They all just seem to be so appreciative of not just the information, but the compassion that the coaching staff there give to their students. So 95.95. They have had as high as 119, but I like the way in which they greet that score, mindful of where they're at this stage in the season.
Please welcome the next skaters.
And now to Canada's Molly Lanahan and Dmitry Raskalaev. The Lord of the Dance. They've worked with Eileen from the Arun Academy of Irish Dance. They've been committed to the pursuit of representing the dance style properly in this, their free dance. This their 1 foot turn sequence. The music provides a brilliant framework for musicality, but that they are doing. A great choreographic slide element. Safely through the twizzles late in the program. How perfect to finish with the choreo character step right in front of the judges. A high 10 between Molly and Dimitri. And what a perfect framework the music is, the variation within the music choices and the selections that they have chosen, showcasing great emotional connection between them, between the audience, and with the music, of course, itself. There will constantly be a comparison with Shailin Bourne and Victor Kratz for anybody that chooses this music. The Canadian champions winners in Skate Canada before he went on to become world champions used this in the Nagano 1998 Olympics. But Molly and Dimitri taking it as their own. And knowing Molly as I have since she was a young girl skating in Great Britain as first a novice single skater, then a pair skater representing Great Britain at the Junior Grand Prix, and now here on the Senior Grand Prix, Canada. Such the life commitment from these athletes to the sport. So pushing the grade of execution within the 1 foot by choosing to grab the blade there, the right inside bracket, and then a right back inside twizzle. 1 foot turns just coming at level 1 for Dimitri, level 2 for Molly. This, one of the highlights, the choreo slide. And that really pushing the grade of execution. All of the 3 choreographic elements receiving just 1.1 points at base value, and it's entirely down not to levels, but to the judges' perception of the grade of execution, and the judges have that clear chart for positive features, which must be attained to cultivate those good GOEs. Choosing to do a combination lift rather than 2 short lifts. The senior dancers have that option. And the twizzles were well done later in the program when fatigue has set in. And as was the case in the rhythm dance, they said that the biggest goal is to bring fun and energy and joy to the people watching, and the audience here were clapping along in time to the music, inspired by them. That was not optimal. The landing of the rotation left a little bit messy, so the grade of execution not great. This the character step, which was actually created by Eileen from the Arun Academy of Irish Dance. They allowed the Irish dance teacher to help them with the construction of that part of the choreography. Dimitri saying that was pretty fun. As they create, by 0.04 of a point, a new personal best on the International Skating Union scoring. And we'll see the training mates and coaches again later, with the final team to take to the ice.
Please welcome the next skaters.
And now to the 2-time German national champions, Jennifer Jans van Rensburg and Benjamin Stefan. You sense already the intensity of their performance, setting the scene for the tango to come before the start of the music. And wobble within the 1-foot turn for Benjamin. Choreographic spinning movement. Depth of edge, working through the difficult turns within the serpentine step sequence, trying so hard to push the level higher. subtleties in the movements of the music. Just an amazing choreographic lift element to conclude the tango free dance for Jennifer Jans van Rensburg and Benjamin Stefan from Germany. Interesting to me that they're great friends with their training mates, the German junior champions, Darek Grimm and Michael Savitsky, and they've chosen a similar type of free dance stylization this season, and that a recurring theme, it seems, for many of the dancers, that the 1980s rhythm dance, which has some increased up-tempo energy, paving the way for many of the teams to use something more intense for the free dance. In many aspects, really showcasing the obvious work they must have done with tango specialists in creating this program. As I said, they were frustrated, I'm sure, with some mistakes made in the rhythm dance. A clean skate, a little wobble perhaps in the 1-foot turns for Benjamin, which perhaps caused a little caution for the mid elements, but returned strongly at the end. Dance spin, those the feature positions that the difficult exit. You can see just turning her head, every aspect of the aesthetic considered. Love the music choice, obviously the Astor Piazzolla Liber Tango, the go-to selection for any tango free dance. First track, unique with the sounds of the flute. So we've seen him work through the twizzles. They're the difficult entry, and that timed perfectly with the music in the combination of curve lift plus rotational lift. There. This choreographic lift has to be airborne for 3 seconds, just to justify that. Training over our slight altitude, I'm sure that helps the ability to last with energy to the end of the 4-minute free dance. Coach Rostislav Sinitsin and Igor Spielban, who they've been training with in America prior to this event, with them in the Kiss and Cry. Neither the seasons are personal best, but very close to that. Kisses and congratulations all round in the Kiss and Cry as they lead the field at this stage for the team that were 9th at Europeans earlier this year.
Please welcome the next skaters. Representing Canada.
And now to the second of 3 Canadian ice dance teams competing at the Skate Canada International, Alicia Fabry and Paul Ayer, using the free dance that they used last season, music by Louis Capaldi. As with so many of the teams opening with the dance spin.
This all and nothing really got away, driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear,
Now leading into the 1-foot turns, right outside rocker.
somebody to hold. It's easy
Right inside bracket turn.
but it's never the same. I guess I
Inside counter in the back, forward inside twizzle. Four difficult turns done in that element.
Into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved.
So now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. So now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
Through the step sequence and bring up the trademark choreographic slide element.
Sometimes I fall into your arms. I'll be safe in your sound till
Changed
I
since last
come
season.
back around. For now the day bleeds into nightfall. You're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love, but now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved.
3 choreographic assisted jumps. To conclude the free dance for Alicia Fabry and Paul Ayer. And before taking their bow, a chance to celebrate together. They've been through so much with the injury that he had, the surgeries that he's gone through, and the time off the ice. And indeed, Alicia having or choosing to support and stick by Paul through that. She trained solo for many months, cultivating her own skating skills, technique, waiting for Paul to be fit enough physically to return to the ice. And whilst this was a free dance music choice that they chose before all of those challenges that they faced with the shoulder dislocations that Paul suffered, I'm sure now the music even more pertinent, and you can see you can almost sense the emotion bringing tears to the eyes of Alicia. It's getting to music by Lewis Capaldi. Lewis Capaldi incidentally performed in this very venue earlier this year. We're tapping into that now. And actually the smiles now leaving the ice give power and testament to the emotional interpretation that they so brilliantly displayed through the free dance itself. Clean line, gorgeous stretch from Alicia. And here, mindful of the shoulder injuries that he's had, I'm sure so much rehabilitation work will have been done as he engages his lats to make sure that no loss of position there. And just in the back of shot as we look now at the twizzles, Roman Aganauer so committed to her students. You can see that he's living every step. Such a stark contrast to the rhythm dance that they had. This, the entry into their stationary lift. Again, feature choices that we've seen from other teams in the past. That position plays safe with the shoulders. They previously used a split slide last year, but I'm sure there have been lots of tweaks to the choreography for the team since last year. So it was 103.3 for Alicia and Paul at the Nebelhorn Trophy on the Challenger Series a few weeks ago. What will it be at the Skate Canada International? Alicia just saying something's better. The analysis, post-analysis in the kiss and cry. And their talented coaches switching languages dependent upon the teams that they're working with. So season's best of 103, a personal best of 103, and now that has been added to 105.03 for Alicia Fabry and Paul Ayer, second in the free dance, but first overall. And congratulations to the team as they build forward from this event. And now to the final team in this first warm-up group in the ice dance competition, already showcasing speed and ice coverage. Eva Pate and Logan Bai together since June 2019 and showcasing the best form of their careers this season. Fabulous choreographic sliding movement to open the program leading to the dance spin. Most ice coverage and speed that we've seen so far, proving higher skating skills. Such dynamism and the rotational lift to finish the free dance for Ava Pate and Logan Bai. The couple who have been engaged now for over a year celebrate the conclusion of their first Grand Prix of the series. Sure, they will be a little disappointed to find themselves in this group. They have a comfortable and seismic margin over the others that have competed already, but they will be eager to close the gap. And indeed, not just close the gap, but be the front-running American team in comparison to their training mates. It's a double-edged sword, having a training team like Emily Zingas and Vadim Kolesnik, who are the first to skate in the next group, I'm sure pushes them in training, both a product of that great training environment in Novi. The challenge then is stiff competition. Dance spin, the second element for the American team. Camel spin feature for Logan. Difficult transition within the spin itself, a new feature. And interesting, the music, as we watch the Twizzles now, Polopsian dances from Prince Igor, a piece that Mel Davis and Charlie White, the American Olympic champions, used previously under the tutelage of the same coaches. Now the requirements set out by the Ice Dance Technical Committee dictate different elements. Of course, the choreo very different than that which would have been needed in 2006, 2007 when Mel and Charlie performed to the music. And the demands of the teams now, so physically athletic and demanding. And they had a statement score when they competed at the Autumn Classic in Montreal of 114. As Ava acknowledges all the other great coaches on their team. So it's 109.34.
Their total score is 181.46. They are currently in first place.
An extended lift deduction, so rotational lift just over the 7 seconds that they're allowed as Igor Spielband steals away to support his next students. Who will be on your screen shortly as we see the standings after the first group. Ava and Logan leading the field comfortably, but as I mentioned, they will be eager not just to lead from the first 5 teams, but to extend that, moving up from the results of the rhythm dance. So we see the next 2 American teams taken to the ice, and there, Harper and Paul, Canadian champions, last to be introduced to the arena here.
From the United States of America, Canadian singers and Vadim Kolesnik. From the United States of America, Una Brown and Gage Brown. From Lithuania, Allison Reed and Sardius Hammonvicius. From Great Britain, Latvia, Lewis Gibson. And from Canada, Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier.
Resounding cheer for Piper and Paul, who will be the last to skate. And you can see it looks like the gold and silver medals are fairly secure, as to the bronze most likely. Still Emily Zingas and Vadim Kolesnik just over 3 points adrift from 3rd place, so some potential for maneuverability and certainly clean skates a necessity in the event.
Having recently teamed up in 2022,
Look to Emily and Vadim. Emily, new to ice dance relatively, she a single skater. And she said it's that which perhaps paved the way for some of the mistakes in the rhythm dance. They had challenges on the Twizzles, and they explained that is somewhat their nemesis. She finds that a challenge coming from single skating. But training's been going well and need to just transfer it to competition. Now to the brother and sister team of Una Brown and Gage Brown. They said that competing at Skate America on home soil last week was a confidence booster to them. They stayed in Texas after the Grand Prix event there until Wednesday, and then came directly straight to Vancouver for this, their back-to-back Grand Prix assignment.
From the United States of America, Una Brown and Gage Brown.
And now to Alison Reid and Saulius Ambru-Levikus, a fascinating story in the composition of their free dance. The free dance is a story to portray how society has lost human connection due to technology and social media, and how important it is for us to reconnect in the real world. And it's a very, very pertinent story to use this medium to express. Love that they've chosen that for the free dance this year. Completely different choice for Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson, the British champions.
World Championship. In 2023, they also placed first at the ISU Challenger Series.
Their
Nell
free dance
Trophy
from
and
the
Paul Memorial.
Rocky
They are currently training at
soundtrack.
Canada. From Great Britain, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson.
They're telling the story in their own way, adding athleticism of boxing to the elegance and grace of ice dance. And then to Piper Gillis and Bob Poirier. With this free dance, they've used the theme of Wuthering Heights to explore the idea that love and hate are extreme forms of the same emotion. On the one side is the passionate, emotional female who wears her heart on her sleeve, and on the other, the brooding, damaged male incapable of showing what he feels. They cannot be together or apart. And that, the story that Caroline, their long-time coach, sent through. What a team they make. Posting the highest score of the series so far. Good to see Emily looking comfortable there with the twizzles in warm-up. Wanted to repeat, cut, copy and paste that into their free dance performance, as we see Una and Gage just trying to avoid the traffic rife in a free dance warm-up. How many run-throughs will Una and Gage have been able to manage from competition last week to this?
Skaters, there is 1 minute remaining in this warm-up.
Il reste 1 minute à la période d'échauffement.
Alison and Saulius. Canada, home from home for the team who have relocated to train here. Lila Fear goes down. I'm so inspired by some of the work that Lila's done off the ice with her podcast, The Lila Joe Show. As I mentioned yesterday, interviewing the likes of Jay Shetty and Gabby Bernstein, some incredible humans that she's managed to bring on her own podcast, and heard of so many amazing feats from these athletes in their pursuits off the ice, in addition to their endeavours in elite competition. And Piper looking radiantly joyous on the ice. The cancer that she had last year, still something she said medical checks are now a thing, almost a part of just her life now. But she is so happy to be here doing what she loves alongside Paul, who is obviously her colleague, business mate, but I think very good friend too.
Please welcome the next competitors.
Veuillez accueillir les prochains concurrents.
Representing United States of America,
Podium celebrated his birthday yesterday, turned 22. It wasn't necessarily the rhythm dance skate they were hoping for, some little mistakes. They said that this free dance is special to them because of the joyous emotion and connection between them within it. Skating to the music, Beauty and the Beast. Fighting through for Emily on the second twizzle. Wonderfully difficult entry into the dance spin.
Now I know she'll never leave me, even as she runs away. She will still torment me, call me, hurt me, move me, come what may. Wasting in my lonely tower, waiting by an open door. I'll fool myself, she'll walk right in. And as the long, long nights begin, I'll think of all that might have been, waiting here
A rousing free dance for Emily Zingas and Vadim Kaleshnik from the United States of America. Wonderful music and ice dance that is not seen on the senior circuit as readily, not sticking to perceived expectations of costume and stylization. And upon reference to it, they said they're choosing to hone in on the connection and the emotion between them, not sticking to Disney archetypes of what should be the portrayal. And it really seems to have worked incredibly well. It's amazing to think that Emily has been an ice dancer for such a short space of time. Vadim's stylization suggests that he has been an ice dancer for longer, so classically ice dancing his movement reminded me on occasion of slightly taller Scott Moyer, but they made a great match in such a short space of time. And that's the stationary lift. Technical panel looking at the features which they have assigned as level 4 difficult exit. And here the twizzles which Emily said is, or I think it was Vadim suggests is their nemesis here. Forward out or back inside. Oh, just spinning the rotation. Looks like she's okay. Looks like the technical panel haven't deducted difficult entry into the curve lift. Owning the moment, Emily Zingas. And the team explained that they've collaborated with their coaches and choreographers on the program, bringing some of their own stamp, and you can sense that comfort they have in interpretation. the 1 foot rotational feature for Podium at the end of the rotational lift. He's so solid on his feet. And when your coach who's taught Olympic champions is punching the air with satisfaction, you know you've done a good job. They've had 111.67 at the Andre Nepal Memorial and now 112.71 first in the free dance. They move above their training mates to take the lead.
And they're currently in first place.
Avec une note totale de 184.96. Emilia et Vadim sont actuellement en première place.
Please welcome the next skater.
Now the highest ranked American team after the rhythm dance, former junior world champions.
Una Brown and Gage Brown.
Una and Gage Brown. Last week they had 105.87 in the free dance, but they will need 111 if they're to stay ahead of the team we've just watched.
When I was young, I never needed anyone.
Deepest in the action of any of the teams we've seen so far.
Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. But when I dial the telephone, nobody's home.
Brilliant choreographic assisted jumps element.
Those days are gone.
Such a good transition. Uh, Huge congratulations to the brother and sister team, Una and Gage Brown. If you choose to compete in back-to-back Grand Prix assignments, they wouldn't have had that choice, but they've managed to live up to the pressure. I think Gage just checking his hand. I think there was a connection between her boot or blade in the choreo character step, so close to one another. And I'm so impressed by the softness and depth of knee, pulsing throughout the 4-minute free dance to create the flow and glide necessary for good skating skills, whilst having such a sharpness and energy in the top line as well. So such trained athletes, and brother and sister teams fascinate me, the amount of commitment to each other and the dynamic between them. And indeed, amazing dynamic as humans. 2 of 7 children. They explained to me they have 11 chickens, 3 ducks and 2 cats at their home. A busy household, lots of hobbies as well, but they found the time in their lives to cultivate some of the best skating, certainly in the junior world standings in previous years, and now looking to add to that junior world title, the senior world title in the coming seasons for Una and Gage.
Those days are gone. Living alone.
Good ice coverage, lots of ice coverage in the transition between the first and the second twizzle. And as you would expect from a brother and sister pairing, very uniformed and matched in their technique and in their positioning. A little low on his thigh, that can be more uncomfortable for the man within the curve lift. And they had a extended lift deduction in the rhythm dance, something that they've not had before. And despite this was amazing, that subtlety of change of direction from the end of the rotation lift. But the rhythm dance score with that deduction still managed to be a personal best for the team. And it looks like that, despite it just being 7 days since they last competed, they're going to make a huge personal best. It was at 105, as I said last week. Longtime coach Joel Deere. They're also working now, not just with Joel Deere, their longtime coach, but also with the Ice Academy Montreal, and they explained that being there gives them so many inspirations with the great teams and people to look up to. Previously, they trained alongside Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Pogier back in 2018 when they were advanced novice team. Caitlin Weaver now part of the Ice Dance Technical Committee, and she's here in Canada. The Skate Canada broadcast team. So, 106 is their personal best, and that is a ginormous addition. 7 points, in fact, over 7 points personal best. So the experience of Skate America has obviously given them some sort of confidence boost to the components at least, and the grades of execution. And they comfortably make the statement that they are the strongest American ice dance team in Vancouver.
Please welcome the next skaters.
Veuillez accueillir les prochains patineurs.
And now to the much more seasoned and experienced seniors of Alison Reed and Salius Ambrulevicius. Alison delighted to be back in Vancouver. Salius happy to compete in Canada because he feels it's his second home for him. Setting the scene and the storytelling that you're connected to devices and technology. the twizzles. Oh, brilliant. Alison Reed and Salius Ambrolevicus. I love the fact that they have created their own story, something different. Not perfect in this free dance, but using this, their medium, their creative form to make a point. The idea that we've lost human connection due to technology and social media, and that we need to reconnect in the real world. And this team choosing to return to competition. I'm sure that the European Championships being held in Kaunas in Lithuania is a huge bright beacon in their calendar and reason and motivation to continue this season. But I love the fact that they're still pushing themselves despite the disappointment of being unable to compete at the Winter Olympics. Marie-France says it's a good job. It's the stationary lift. Leading into the rotational lift. And you could really see towards the latter stage of the program the connection and the energy that Alison was giving to Saulius within the choreography. This was beautifully matched. You can see again in the replay the connection between the team. Not connected physically, very much connected in their commitment to each other. And now they come in as podium contenders, so they hopefully will be rewarded by their tenacity, their staying power in the senior circuit. Had that difficult entry into the dance spin. He said that it's exciting to be considered as potential medalists, working so hard to be in that position. And here, back to the phone at the end for Alison.
Sécurité, hi everyone. I just probably came up and do it.
The score, please.
And Alison just giving a kiss to her, the dear brother Chris.
116.41.
116.41. And they have medaled. And you can see how they feel about that. Huge congratulations to Alison and Saulius medaling at Skate Canada. And well worthy celebrations. A picture there, I think, of Chris with them in the kiss and cry.
Please welcome the next competitors.
Veuillez accueillir les prochains concurrents.
And now to the British champions, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. Their Rocky free dance already so well rehearsed and prepared in competition, winning both of their Challenger Series events. The story is about overcoming adversity, empowerment, and finding inner strength. Ice covers through the 1-foot turn, showcasing ever-increasing skating skills. Again, the hold to facilitate the call of those clean outside mohawks. Time to work hard through the curve lift. Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. And the Scottish flag waved proudly for the team. I don't think that was the ultimate skate for them, insofar as there were some tightness areas within some of the elements. However, they put themselves up on a pedestal for critique by always competing early in the season. And yet, I think now as we see them competing again internationally, I think for the third or fourth time this season already, you can see how positive that choice is for them, because this free dance is evolving so much already with each outing. And what's very, very evident, it seems, is that the skating skills since last season vastly improved, and really hard and challenging to make those fundamental improvements when you're such seasoned campaigners. But their speed, their flow, their glide, really impressive. One particular transition just had a knee, pulsating knee action that allowed the edges to run more than I'd ever seen from them. You can see ever so slightly out of sync on the first twizzle. Same transition as they did in the rhythm dance there with the back inside loop. And here for Lila, she did well. Testament to the training that they've got, that she clung through that second twizzle, and it looks like she hasn't dropped a level for it either. As I said, the story is about finding inner strength, triumph within yourself, no matter what that looks like. And they also love the idea, having Lila show the power of women in sport, and that's something that they are proud to highlight with this Rocky free dance. And acknowledging that they are adding the athleticism of boxing to the elegance and grace of ice dance, as we see them work through some of the features that we've seen in previous years, and always coming out with unique takes and the free dance choice. We've seen them use Madonna, who were originally the Disco Brits, that the theme that catapulted them to success initially and got them some recognition on the world stage. So 125.42, the free dance score they achieved en route to winning the Neville Horn Trophy a few weeks ago. And Lewis looks a little surprised to see that that has been beaten. He's seen a tech score higher. Such hard workers, so conscientious in what they want to achieve, and immediately being able to assess the points, both in the tech score and the components.
Please welcome the final skaters.
Veuillez accueillir les derniers patineurs.
Representing Canada,
And now
Piper
to the
Gillis,
reigning champions at Skate Canada. Unlike the Brits, this is the first time that we see their new free dancing competition. Wuthering Heights, the theme and the soundtrack music. Carol Lane expressing the intricacies and complexities of the emotions that we will see in this love story for Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier. lighting changes in the rules, really using the transition within the dance spin to push that grade of execution. What a wonderfully complex change of direction into the curve lift. Oh, look at the story, look at the connection between Piper and Paul in the finished position. And what contrast to the rhythm dance, showcasing their versatility, the spectrum of emotions that they can perform to, built upon decades worth of ice dance education. Will this be the vehicle that they can use to win the world title? They looked potentially en route to doing that last season before illness curtailed their season. How grateful the skating community is that Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier return again with more great material. Confirmation and proof that they do just love what they do. As I said before, Vanessa Cron and Paul Poirier, silver medalist 15 years ago. He was a medalist in this event and then went on to win the title with his former partner. Piper competed with Zachary Donoghue and then moved away from the competitive world. She appeared in a music video. She was offered the role of Rapunzel in Disney on Ice, and yet now, years later, still competing, still creating new lifts like this, not relying upon features that they've used previously, pushing themselves with challenging new material. And explain it's a passionate love story between two people that can turn toxic, and they were excited to show the darker side to them. I think it was a Hitchcock free dance that they used some seasons ago, and since then they've gone for a more lyrical, contemporary, and perhaps safer route. This, a new level of intensity this season, that was so brilliantly difficult. And to my knowledge, Wuthering Heights not used, certainly by any medalists in the World Championship at ice dance competition. So often skaters will choose powerhouse music that's used repeatedly and regularly. This isn't something that we hear. This choreographic hydroglide move, that a new potential choreographic movement that the ice dancers can use. Look at that. I think, Paul, they're just saying drama.
Hi, Scarborough. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Drama filled. Extending their love to their home rink. Carol Lane and Yunus Raskalaev all joined together to see 131.46. Just a fraction behind their personal best, and this their free dance outing. This is a very strong statement that in the debut of this free dance, they are at their fraction off their very best ever. What does the rest of the season hold for Piper and Paul? 4th Skate Canada win. Good job and a high five.
Fourth one.
Piper confirming. 4th one. And there, the standings, 10-point lead almost for the Canadians. And delight too for the Lithuanian team of Alison Reid and Salius Ambrulevičius. They will be delighted with the bronze medal that they pick up here. And there are the standings, a little lower down in an exciting free dance competition at Skate Canada, finding us halfway through the event today. There, the signal of the messages in the storytelling for Alison Reid and Salius Ambrulevičius. Love the choice of story that they have chosen for this year's free dance. And it is rewarded with the medal. Last year, 4th at NHK. Now, medalists on the Grand Prix. Celebration of our time in Vancouver. Brilliant. And the Rocky free dance for the British champions, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. They explained that they'd worked intentionally on their connection, their attack and their skating skills, and they built these performances to showcase that work. Work through the rotational lift and that brilliant entry into the stationary lift, which we saw from them before last season. They vie to become World Championship medalists by the end of the year. Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier already. I've seen messages coming in suggesting this. Heard already. Comparison with Bertrand Morris Mahler. And that huge coup to Piper and Paul. Amazing free dance to Wuthering Heights. And as we saw just moments ago, close to their personal best ever in their debut of the free dance. And now we can await to see the medal ceremonies for both the ice dance competition and the women's event, which took place not long ago, where Kaori Sakamoto, the world champion, took gold triumphantly last year at Skate Canada in Mississauga. 2 of the 4 title winners here, Shoma Uno and the pair champions from Japan, then went on to, following their win at Skate Canada late in the season, win the world titles. Will Kaori Sakamoto win the world title again this year, making her a 3-time consecutive winner? And will Piper and Paul, the champions in Skate Canada, take their first world title? And it certainly is going to be a high expectation for that to happen in Canada for the Canadian team. As we see the organising committee preparing the rostrum for the medalists, with the maple leaf being the framework for that podium. The Skate Canada organisation, so incredibly efficient and well-oiled, and I'm sure many of those involved in the organisation of this Skate Canada, the 49th Skate Canada event, will be involved in the organisation of the World Championships in Montreal in March. Indeed, the World Championships in Montreal scheduled to happen back in 2020, and then unfortunately had to be cancelled due to what was taking place with the global pandemic. And I wonder indeed if that rostrum, which is quite a spectacular piece, will be used at Worlds as well. Certainly unique in its design, taking an army of officials to help piece it together. So as we await the medal ceremony, we can look forward to the final and remaining two disciplines yet to take place in this wonderful arena, with the pairs event coming up not too long, and then it will be the men that round out the competition ahead of the gala exhibition performances, which will take place tomorrow. Always a fun chance for the skaters to perform without the worry and constraints of competition. Sometimes is that an opportunity to see some skaters really excel and garner fans around the globe. And as the skaters go backstage, I'm sure so many of them will be closely looking at the feedback and the PDFs given to their performances. Skaters so desperately eager to see what the technical panels will have assigned to their levels and what the judges will have rewarded them with in the skating skills, the presentation and the composition of their programs, alongside also the grades of execution of each of the elements. Look at the PDF and the protocol for the winners in the ice dance competition. Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, we can see +5 maximum grade of execution awarded to their final element, the choreographic hydroglide movement. That was given, they were given the maximum +5 by 6 of the 9 judges, with the other 3 giving +4s. And in order to do that, the judges have very clear criteria. There's a grade of execution of required elements chart for positive and negative features. To get the +5, they have to have more than 8 positive features. And there's a list of 12 different ones. I'm sure Piper and Paul will have been really clearly gunning for those maximum grades of execution. Not only did they achieve that on that final element, but some of the judges, in fact one of the judges, giving 6 of their 9 elements the maximum +5 grade of execution. No 10s on the components yet. So those of you familiar with the skating criteria, 10 the maximum score awarded in skating skills, presentation and composition. In that area to be seen already, Piper and Paul achieving some 9.75s from 2 of the 9 judges and multiple 9.5s. And to achieve that so early in the season Very exciting to consider how that will play out later in the season when they compete again. And we'll see them in 2 weeks' time at the Cup of China in Chongqing on November 10th to 12th. But I'm sure Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, the winners in Texas last week at Skate America and the world champions, will be doing all they can in training to top the scores achieved by Piper and Paul today. They had a wonderful debut last week. And Madison and Evan, a bit of a slow burn start to last season, but culminated in that world title in Saitama in Japan. Starting this season, the much stronger outing at Skate America, which perhaps indicates that given the path they took to that world title last season, maybe they will go on to create even greater greatness. Yet to see Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabry, the silver medalists from World Championships. They compete next week in the Grand Prix de France in Angers. It's always interesting to see which assignments are given, as the world medalists are split between the 6 assignments on the Grand Prix series. The rostrum is laid, the photographers ready and waiting across from it to take some snapshots of the medal winners. Far in the distance, I think we can see the flags of the medalists ready to be raised by the organising committee. And great to see some of the fans of the sport have stayed, and I'm sure many of them staying to cheer on Piper and Paul, the home nation team that won. How delighted they would have been to see Madeline Skeezers climb up to take a medal as well. She was close to it, having placed 2nd in the free skate, but 4th overall for the Canadian champion. Later today though, in the pairs event, Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Duchamp vie for another gold for the host nation. As we hear the familiar sound of the International Skating Union fanfare, signifying the start of the ice dance victory ceremony.
ISU Grand Prix 2023 Skate Canada International Victory Ceremony, Ice Dance.
La remise des médailles pour les internationaux Patinage Canada 2023. Danse sur glace.
Third and winner of the bronze medal.
En troisième place et gagnant de la médaille de bronze.
Such a
From
huge
Lithuania,
celebration for Alison Reid and Saulius Ambrulevicius. They were tipped and pipped and expected to win the bronze here. But seeing the reaction to that confirmation, the kissing crowd is quite beautiful. And their many, many years of commitment and graft to the sport of ice dance rewarded with a medal here. Will they be able to add to the medal in Vancouver with a medal at the European Championships in Saulius' home of Kaunas in Lithuania in January of 2024? The smile
Second and
huge
winner
here,
of the
but
silver
even
medal.
bigger in January
En deuxième
if that was to be
place,
achieved. As we
gagnant
look
de
now
la
to
médaille
Lila Fear and Lewis
From Great
Gibson.
Britain, Lila Fear and
They were
Lewis
second
Gibson.
to Piper and Paul 12 months ago at Skate Canada. Second again to the Canadian champions. Such an ambitious team who work so, so hard. And they congratulate and hug their training mates, all from the Ice Academy in Montreal. The home of the vast majority of the world's senior elite ice dance teams.
First and winners of the gold medal.
But it is
En
from
première
Scarborough
place et gagnant de la
that the
médaille
champions
d'or.
hail.
From Canada, Piper Gillis and Paul
Piper
Poirier.
Gillis and Paul Poirier, their fourth Skate Canada win. Just an amazing achievement, made all the more amazing knowing what Piper has gone through with beating cancer within the last year. And yet they're coming into form, the best of their lives ever, following that Wuthering Heights free dance. And they look as happy and joyful with this fourth win as any of the others. Indeed, you sense they're relishing competition now more than ever. These teams all know each other so well, competing alongside one another for multiple seasons. And the respect amongst the medalists very evident as they beat
Please
each other.
welcome Skate Canada President.
Veuillez accueillir Miss Karen Butcher. She will award the medals.
Now to Karen Butcher, the Skate Canada president, who commits so much of her life to figure skating, awarding now the Lithuanian team with their bronze medals. As the silver medal awarded to Lila Fear and now her partner Lewis Gibson. They compete again at the NHK Trophy and they've said how excited they are to return to Japan, their favourite place to perform, and they have so many fans. Japan, where skating is incredibly popular. The champions are adorned with their
Please
winning
welcome
medals.
the ISU representative.
Veuillez accueillir Monsieur Benoît Lavoie. He will award the flowers.
Mr. Benoit Lavoie, the International Skating Union representative, awards flowers. First to Piper and Paul.
Please welcome the referee, Mr. Sean Redstadt, and the technical controller, Miss Liana Caron. They extend congratulations to the medalists.
Sean Redstadt, member of the Ice Dance Technical Committee, so pivotally involved in the decisions made for the changes this season, the 1980s, the rhythm dance, which has been so popular for skating fans.
Please rise for the national anthem of the winner. These are your medalists.
The Canadian national anthem played. Will it be the last time today? It remains to be seen. As heavy favourites in the pairs event lead after the short programme, Diana Stelata-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps. Fascinatingly, all three of the female medalists at least come from strong skating families. Lila's sister Sasha competed as they take a selfie at World Championships in ice dance. Piper's brother Todd competed at Junior World Championships in ice dance. Her sister Alexia was a junior national champion in singles. And Alison's brother and sister Kathy and Christy, Japanese ice dance champions as well. So responsible for the support needed to achieve the success that those three women have enjoyed today. So we leave you now with some parting scenes of the medalists in the ice dance competition. Shortly we return for the medal ceremony of the women's event. Then, not long after that, conclusion of the pairs competition. So for now, enjoy pictures of 6 very happy skaters in Vancouver. The ISU fanfare now signals the start of the women's victory ceremony. And a chance for further celebrations for the medalists. They competed a little earlier today.
ISU Grand Prix 2023 Skate Canada International Victory Ceremony Women.
La remise de médailles pour les internationaux Patinage Canada 2023, femmes.
Third and winner of the bronze medal.
En troisième place, gagnante de la médaille de bronze.
And the bronze medalist, what a gorgeous performance it was for Rina Matsuke. She said it feels like being here is a huge achievement. Her first international competition in a while, and being here with a smile is just amazing. She's had a tough time recently. Can't believe that she comes away with the bronze. Last year at Skate America, she had to withdraw from the free skate because she was in such bad health, and she wanted to perform this free skate to the Nella Fantasia music last year and couldn't. She said it's about bringing happiness and peace, and she thinks that after going through tough times, she's able to feel that program even more.
En deuxième place, et gagnante de la médaille d'argent.
And now to Cheon Kim from Korea, the 16-year-old winner of the silver medal. She said that she was so nervous today, even more so than in the short program. And although she didn't skate cleanly, she's happy with the result of winning a silver medal and the 13 points that come with that second place, which could help her to achieve her goal for the season of qualifying for the Senior Grand Prix final. And she congratulates Matsuke. And Cheon said it's so nice to compete alongside Kaori. She said she's so strong and a powerful skater, and also a very, very nice person. And I think that is what skating fans around the world appreciate most from Kaori Sakamoto. Not just winning and deserving of the titles that she has amassed, but the fact that she's such a good human. She said she felt very calm today, almost like skating at home. She said after landing the axel and the loops, she knew she would be okay. She wanted 149 and achieved 151. She said she was surprised to hear people clapping along because the music this year doesn't really invite that, but she does.
Veuillez accueillir Miss Karen Butcher. She will award the
And the Skate Canada president, Karen Butcher, returns to present the women's medalists. Big stretch for Karen to get over the bun in the hair of Cheon Kim. I wonder how she'll manage with Kaori even higher on that rostrum.
Veuillez accueillir Monsieur Benoît Lavoie.
And as Benoît Lavoie returns to the rostrum to give the flowers out. Interesting to hear Kaori saying that looking at the protocols, she says she has lots to improve on. The spins can be better, and she wants to get the program component scores higher. This is her 4th win in 13 Grand Prix events that she's competed in, with the 14th one happening in Espoo at the Finnish Grand Prix.
Please welcome the referee, Ms. Elizabeth Binder, and the technical controller, Ms. Deborah Island. They extend congratulations to the members.
Further Congratulations extended to the medalists as we await the Japanese national anthem for Kaori's win.
Please rise for the national anthem of the winner. These are your medalists.
The first time the Japanese anthem played today in Vancouver. Kaori always on hand to support fellow competitors. We may hear the Japanese anthem again. 3 of the top 4 finishers after the short program in the men's event hail from Kaori's same nation. Sota Yamamoto aims to maintain his lead after the short program as the final competitor to compete in this arena. So for now, we leave you with these closing scenes of the medal winners at the Skate Canada International 2023. But make sure that you join us for the conclusion of the pairs event. And that due to start in about 20 minutes time. So I'm Mark Henretti. Thank you for joining us for the women's and ice dance competition. Make sure to stay tuned for the pairs and men's events yet to come.